Everything that you believed is over. It's over. Aliens are here. Okay? They're here. Some alien bodies, some alien bodies. First of all, I'm glad that we came to this moment. I'm glad that we finally got to this moment. Everything that you believed is over. It's over. Aliens are here. Okay? They're here. But before we start, just give me your take on what you guys believe about UFOs, and for the last 20, 30 some odd years, what do you guys believe? Go ahead.
So I used to watch documentaries on it all the time back when I was a kid, and I always believed like it could be real. And I know people that actually said they've seen some things. If y'all haven't read this book, you should check it out. It's called Behold a Pale Horse. Y'all heard of that book?
Yeah, I've heard of it, definitely.
So y'all should, if y'all believe in aliens and stuff, y'all should read the book, because the guy that wrote it, he was like ex-CIA or whatever. He was like highest clearance in Navy and stuff, and he was working with like CIA, and so he was like leaking actual information from the meetings that he was having with some of these higher up people in the government. And in the paperwork and stuff, it was like talking about treaties between aliens, like how the aliens wanted to show us their advanced ways and stuff like that. But the thing was, if we were going to do that, then they wanted us to like take off our weapons of mass destruction.
Say that book again. Pale Blue Horse. Beyond the
Behold a Pale Horse. You can actually get it. You can just listen to it for free on YouTube. They got the whole audiobook.
Didn't Buddy die? Like
he got killed. He got killed in outside of New Mexico for sharing the all this information. So like it's like, not only do they expose what's going on with aliens, they expose what's going on with like all kinds of stuff, the elites, all this stuff. He talks about all of that. And but the aliens part is super crazy. He's like, people were like, they agreed with the aliens that they could abduct humans just so that they could learn more about us. But the trick is they can't remember anything. So when humans are taken or whatever, they're not allowed to remember what happens when they come back, when they're put back here. And I just thought it was really cool. The book was just like, you can listen to the whole thing, and it's like, he just gives the whole lowdown. But I thought that was crazy. He actually got killed because he was sharing all this stuff.
And so in this video, I don't know how much of this video we're going to watch because it's long. But the guy talks about like how some of his friends were killed, and how he actually feared for his life. There's another guy, and I've seen him for years, and I can't remember his name. It's Dr. something. He was actually, you'll know when you see his face, because he's one of the people that actually brought all this stuff to the forefront, and he's been doing this for the last 30 some odd years. Like, if I showed you his face, I'll probably pull it up once we get through the video. But he's talked about it. And the crazy thing is, throughout our lifetime, we have seen people talk about these things, and they get so deep into it. Like when they talk about the Alien Federation, you be like, y'all crazy. But in the video, they talk about some of the campaigns that the CIA and them did to make us believe and go on a campaign like ufology and all that stuff was, pseudoscience and everything. And now they're coming back around to it. Hamilton, what do you think?
I think, of course they're real. Of course they're real. This universe is too vast for it to be only us.
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Hey, Jalen, I want you to know this is Hamilton, right? Hey, when we were talking crypto, you couldn't shut the boy up. You couldn't shut him up. This man was
he had information for days.
Hey, this man was just talking. This is like breaking it down. We were confused. You're like, bro, you go a little too deep. And he's like, aliens, yes, aliens exist. They, yeah, of course. That's all I got to say about that. Back to the crypto.
Okay, let's go a little deeper then. Let's think about it. let's break it down by religions and cultures then. So, yeah, I don't know if y'all heard about it. I know Collins about it. Anunnaki and Jamar, of course. Anunnakis, right? They call them the sky people back in the day. Sumerians. That was their belief, their gods. So they talking about aliens. The Bible is talking about aliens 24/7. Angels are aliens. Shoot.
Look, Colin's itching down there. He itching. Colin's itching.
They're not of this world. So they are extraterrestrial beings, other beings, you know what I'm saying? We're aliens, bro. We're aliens.
What you eating? What you eating on?
Popcorn, man. Popcorn. Just love popcorn.
Okay, online cookout popcorn. Okay, cool. Jalen, what you got? Jalen ain't got no snacks.
I ain't got nothing. I just had some Chipotle.
No snacks. Go ahead, Collins.
You already know, Jamar, but I'm gonna let the rest of y'all. Know what I'm saying? These things are not from other worlds, man. As we know it, as like a planet out there somewhere, blah 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 blah. My understanding and my knowledge is that it is the aliens are actually angels, like he said, but the ones that we see that be looking all weird and stuff like that, or the Anunnakis and all of those things, those are all real as well, but they're demons. They're the fallen angels. Now, fallen angels can take many forms. They have the abilities to shape shift. They have abilities to be right in your face, and you can't see them. They have the abilities to be morphing in different spectrums of light, dimensional travel. There's actually a verse in the Bible that talks about how they could be all around us and you not see them. You know what I'm saying? Like in 2 Kings 6, it talks about this king of Syria that went to go get Elisha. And when he went, and Elisha's underling, he had an apprentice or whatever, and he was scared because he's like, all of these people, are coming, and they the only ones there. And when he woke up Elisha, he's like, hey, bro. Elisha's like, hey, man, don't be afraid. Don't be worried, because those that are with us are more than those that are with them. And he's like, what you talk about? And he prays that, hey, Most High, will you let him open up his eyes so he can see? And then so he opened up, the Most High opened up his eyes, and he was able to look around, and it was a whole squad of chariots, which would be like UFOs, right? It was a whole squad of warriors and chariots on horses, on the mountains, in the air, like they was all around them. So really and truly, they always here. They're different species, quote unquote. The other.
What is that? Somehow going bad. Where is that? What book is this?
2 Kings chapter 6. Yeah, I think it's verse. I can't remember exactly what verse, but 2 Kings chapter 6, like 1 through like 20 or something like that. And it goes into detail, like about how they're always there, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like your enemies, when you feel that little cold bumps in the back of your neck, that's a spirit that you feel. You know what I'm saying? That's a spirit. Whether it's one on the positive side or the negative side, it's the same species. And these things can change form. If they can change the spectrum of light, like be in front of you and you don't see it, like in the story of Balaam and the donkey, right? Like, and that's the second one. You have for them to be able to be invisible, and how can they change spectrum and light and things like that? The donkey was able to see the alien in the road, but the dude could not see the alien. As a matter of fact, the donkey was able to speak. Now, a lot of people don't believe people. This could be a good and a bad thing, right? For people who are on the cusp of like not believing fantastical things, that's why they don't believe in the Bible, because it says all these weird, crazy things. And and we have stuff like this, you know what I'm saying, coming out. It's like, oh snap, there is other things. There's something other than human beings. So maybe they can start to believe and realize, okay, maybe the word is real, is true. Maybe it's real. Maybe this ain't just stories and giants and stuff like that. So I think it's kind of good and bad, because they lying. They doing what demons do, to tell two truths and a lie. They gonna tell you that it exists, but they ain't not gonna tell you where it really comes from, because these things are whole demons. And people have been having ruling powers have been having deals with demons all the way going back to the Egyptians, to the Sumerians, to the
All right, Colin, give me.
So-
let me get Tim in here. I knew you was gonna go on your biblical escapade.
hey,
All right, it's time for you to get muted. Bam, mute that fool. Go ahead, Tim. Let's talk. Talk to me, baby.
Yo, what's up,
Yes,
man?
sir.
What's up, everybody? How everybody doing, man?
What's up, Tim?
Oh, guys, man, I'm doing pretty good. I'm on the road again. But nah, man. Most of y'all know me, man. So I figure, like, yeah, I'm in agreement with that. Yo, this universe is too big. It's too many planets, too many solar systems, too many stars for it not to be something else somewhere. Now, whether that entity has put itself on Earth for whatever reason, got off of Earth and came back to it for whatever reason, I don't know. I don't know. Them jokers are here. For my driving experiences, I would not. I can tell you that I've seen some stuff move across the sky that's not a plane, drone, or a comet. I can tell you that. I can 100% tell you that, especially when you go out west.
West.
Man.
Well, I need to go stay out west. Yep, definitely.
Bro, when you go out west, man, it's nothing but openness, bro. There ain't nothing out there, especially you start going through like Arizona and stuff like that, man.
Yep.
Yeah, just look up, man. Those lights don't move like that.
Yeah. You don't have any light pollution out there to just.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's there. It is there, and you can just see it. I mean, you can like, okay, that's a plane. The green light right there. Okay, that's a drone. Okay, that's a helicopter. I mean, you can see it, and you're like, okay, oh, I saw a shooting star. That don't move like nothing else out there.
Yeah.
I mean, so just based off of that, this little stuff that I seen, I'm like, yeah, they out there, man.
So were you able to, did you get the chance to watch the congressional hearing they had? I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, I caught bits and pieces of it. Probably overall maybe 30 minutes of watching, just like maybe 5 minutes here, 10 minutes here. Overall though, man, it's nothing really new.
Yeah.
Outside of what they was talking about, this is all things that we heard before. I'm just, I guess you could be like, okay, they actually admitted to the being dead bodies from the 1947 crash in Roswell. Yeah, we all knew it. I mean, like, hey, it's been too many people that came out and said, but I guess the thing is they actually put it in a congressional hearing. Like, yeah, it's fact. There's what the man. What he called it, non-human biologies or something like that.
Yeah. I was actually looking for that exact time frame in here, but I don't know if I can find it. I'm gonna play the first couple minutes of it, and then we'll talk about it, and then I'll skip forward where you guys are talking and see what we can get out of it. But like you're right, they didn't name a lot of the guy. Said he couldn't say a lot of things publicly, which is, Congress is like, yo, this is crazy. Now we're really starting to understand there is a shadow government, because how can you be in the top areas in Congress and you don't have clearance to see things that you should have clearance to? Anyway, let's get to it. That's what they're saying over here in the comments. Demons taught man how to make those things. That's Collins. Don't be trying to pose, Collins, as somebody else. I see you trying to look at him. Look at him trying to pose. He trying to.
I literally can't. I can't type while I'm on the phone. So I gotta go on my
I got you. I'm messing with you. All right, let's play.
Firsthand and not in this environment, but I could answer that question behind closed doors.
And have you seen any of the bodies?
That's something I've not witnessed myself.
Okay. And so with that being said, and the other statement that has been made that was intriguing to me it's intriguing because my view has been that we are billions of light years away from any other system. And the concept that an alien species that's technologically advanced enough to travel billions of light years gets here and somehow is incompetent enough to not survive Earth or crashes is something that I find a little bit far-fetched.
That's the part I want you. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. One of the dumbest things I've ever heard in my life. And he looks like a dumbass saying it. He just looks stupid. The minute he said it, I was like, bro, what are you talking about? Like,
Bro, that's controlled opposition, bro. That's all it is, homie. That's just controlled opposition. They got that one dude in there as a naysayer for everybody to be like, they all in on it. Come on, bro.
he's like, well, how? What? You know, it's incompetent. They crash. It's incompetence. Okay. Dude's an idiot.
And with that being said, you have mentioned that there's interdimensional potential. Could you expound on that?
Yeah, to answer your first question, and I'm here as a fact witness and expert, but I will give you a theoretical framework, at least to work off, to kind of espouse crashes, regardless of your level of sentience, right? Planes crash, cars crash, n number of sorties, however high, a small percentage are going to end in mission failure, if you will, as we say in the Air Force. And then in terms of multidimensionality, that kind of thing, the framework that I'm familiar with, for example, is something called the Holographic Principle. It derives itself from general relativity and quantum mechanics, and that is, if you want to imagine a 3D object such as yourself casting a shadow onto a 2D surface, that's the Holographic Principle. So you can be quasi-projected from higher dimensional space to lower dimensional. It's a scientific trope that you can actually cross, literally, as far as I understand, but there's probably guys with PhDs that we could probably argue about that.
But you have not seen any.
Y'all want to talk about that? How crazy that sound?
Yeah, it sounds crazy, but it ain't.
It's not.
First of all, we've already have theories that talk about us being like this whole thing being a hologram. Our whole experience being a hologram. The Bible backs that up as well. You know what I'm saying? The idea that a being could be all around us, but we can't see it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then that there's a higher level. The Bible talks about like the higher heavens, right? We have these levels of heavens, not even just one heaven. We have levels of heavens, right? So somebody could be looking down like on this screen, you know what I'm saying? Or on this realm through the waters, right? Like we have the ability to even do that ourselves. We can project ourselves into other quote unquote universes. We do that with AI. We do that with games, right? We do that even with TV, right? So why wouldn't an advanced or smarter supernatural being be able to do the same thing? We don't come up with nothing ourselves. We creating anything. We little mini gods. So whatever we done come up with our vast mind, bro, the Most High done already done it. Mm-hmm. Angels and demons done already done it. That's where we get these ideas from.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Jalen.
I agree with Collins. But I have to just talk about what the book talked about too. Is just saying these beings are way far superior to us. They know more. They can do more. Their consciousness level is just so much higher than us, and their technology and their advancement is crazy. So I mean, of course they can do things like quantum leaping and stuff. Like that's nothing. Apparently they wanted to teach us these things, but like I said, like it was talking about in the book, if they were to teach us these things, then we would have to disarm our entire, all of our atomic bombs. They probably wouldn't even do much to them, but that's what they wanted. And so America was like, nah, screw that. We're not going to do that. But apparently they made like a peace treaty. But I 1000% believe that they've got this consciousness and this spirituality that's way above us. 1000%.
Mm-hmm. What you got, Tim?
Yeah, I can't disagree with that theory. I've heard it a couple of times, and it really makes sense to me. Even the line that Collins had, that we don't think of nothing. So my favorite dude, I think I told you about it. I told you about him, Jay, the guy. I think you said you played basketball with him, Billy Carson.
Yeah.
So yeah, Billy had a thing, man. He got his theory. He's like, yo, man, we don't think of nothing. We just download everything. Yeah. Everything that you can think about being done is already been done. You just in tune to whatever frequency that information is on. So we basically like walking radios out here, and you can't get to 97.5 if you dialed in on 102.3. So whatever information that's on that particular frequency wave, that wave pattern, that communication channel, once you get yourself into a higher vibrated state, you can download that particular information. Us as human beings right now, not there. Some of us are. I believe there are some guys who could do, or some people who could do some amazing things just from meditating, and they get profound information that we like, man, where you come up with that at? Oh, how you do that? Dang, he really just healed this dude from just thinking about it. And so when you in tune with that particular energy, man, you got that kind of communication where you can sit still and just download information, so to speak. Then yeah, I mean, I don't see that as a problem. I mean, I don't see that as being far-fetched, especially if you're talking about if we sitting up in the 3D and they saying like maybe answer something, look at things in the 2D. So I mean, what's the 4th, 5th dimension look like? We can't perceive that in our minds because we tied to the 3D.
This man spitting, boy.
Yeah, he hit the nail right on the head, because there was a guy on YouTube breaking down, the superstring theory talks about 11 dimensions folded upon themselves, and they were simply saying that each dimension up can perceive everything down, but each dimension down can't perceive everything up unless you change your frequency to perceive the other dimensions. That makes sense. So that's what you're talking about, the holographic thing. That thing is like, that's crazy. To answer Jessica's question, I personally have never seen an alien. I'm with Tim. When we used to live in Arizona, there are some things that you see in the sky at night that it's not a spacecraft. I mean, me and my dad used to talk about it because we were stationed out in Fort Huachuca, Arizona. He used to say he see things out in the field. I would see some things that I couldn't explain, but I'm not going to say it was I guess it was an unidentified flying object, but I'm not going to say it was like an alien spacecraft. It's just like some weird stuff that you see that doesn't look like a plane. Anybody else?
Yeah, my mom and dad both seen something. So y'all know where 46 is, that country road going towards like Orlando and Sanford.
Yeah.
So my dad said he was driving on 40. This was like probably 20, 30 years ago, but he was driving down 46 and he said he's seen this craft. He said he'd never seen nothing like it before, but it was just hovering over one of the fields, like, where there's no street lights, none of that stuff over there. And he said he never seen something. He had to like pull over and like roll his windows down and everything. And he said it made like a sound, like a humming, like a really low, like he never heard any sound like that before. And that was right there on 46. And that was like a long time ago. And my mom said she's seen a creature. She don't know what it was, but she was young. She said she's seen some flashing lights and she looked out the window and there was like something there. And it looked like something she never seen before. So, some people have seen some things. I've never seen nothing on my end, but
I personally have multiple times. Actually, I've seen as far as crafts. I've actually seen outside my house it was a blue moon. That's the only reason why I saw that bit, because I'm always inside. But it was a blue moon. It's my first blue moon that I like knew of. Oh, it's a blue moon. So I'm thinking, oh, it's something cool. It's going around the internet, right? Like, oh, let me go see the blue moon. Like, I'm thinking that bit gonna be blue or something like that. I ain't even do the research and realize it's just 2 full moons in a month. But so I go out there and I'm looking. I'm like, what? I'm like, this is trash. Like, this is doo-doo. Like, what? This is a regular old full moon. Like, what we supposed to see? I was Googling and whatever, looking over, and then I look back up and I see this silent. I mean, it was silent, and it wasn't but about a mile away. Like, it wasn't even that far away, and it was translucent, bro. It was like at first I thought it was a dude in a parachute, because it had this kind of like jellyfish dome, kind of translucent, like the bell of a jellyfish, like the top part of it, and it was floating down. So I actually thought it was like one of them old school parachutes, because they used to be like the Rangers used to jump out on them, the circular ones, not the cool ones that they got the angles or whatever. So I'm looking at this bit and I'm like, yo, what is that? And it's the way it's moving like a jellyfish, because it's like floating like this. But I'm like, wait a minute, a dude on a parachute can't go up. Like, it's going down and it's going up and it's completely silent. Now, mind you, that same distance or further than that, we can hear the planes. The helicopters are around the same area, and we could always hear those, the ghetto bird flying around or whatever. So I'm looking and I see it, and I'm like, I call my girl, I said, babe, come look at this. Tell me what the heck that is. And she looking at it, she like, yo, I don't know what that is. And so she's like, yo, get the camera. So we get the camera, of course, like an iPhone 4. It didn't capture nothing because it's all translucent or whatever. I see one, and then after that, I see a second one. And then we see a third one. She called her mama and her dad. I'm calling, who did I call? I can't remember who I called, but they didn't pick up. And I'm like, yo, I'm seeing freaking aliens, bro. Like it's a whole thing here, bro. Like, we saw 7 back to back over the course of 15 minutes. And they were just, and after about 15 minutes after, they went up to they came from the southeast, and they came across and they went up down to the northeast, up towards Pasadena area, right? And then it was about 3 minutes after the last one came, one of them Ospreys that from like Fort Bragg or whatever flew in the same exact direction going towards it. And we knew it was a military helicopter because it comes over every now and then, but it was one of the big military helicopters, flew in the exact direction following it. So I'm like, yeah, ain't no way that these things ain't real. Like, I seen it with my own eyes. Like, I knew it. And this is like outside of my belief system of like whether they're demons or not. I was like, I just know that thing in the air could not have been a parachute because it was moving up. Like, you're not moving up vertically in a parachute. It was also completely silent. It was huge. You know what I'm saying? It was like big enough for me to see, and it was floating almost like a jellyfish on a Gulf Stream, and they all followed the same pattern. 15 minutes. And so I was like, yeah, nah.
Any markings on your body after?
Nah. I mean, they were far enough away that I didn't feel afraid. Like, I didn't feel scared or whatever. Okay. Now, when I was in Vegas, though, I was scared. Like, I was legit actually scared. This is before me being fully activated. You know what I'm saying? I was still scared of these things, these unknowns or whatever. We were driving down, coming back from Vegas at like 3:00 in the morning. And if y'all ever been to Vegas coming from there to California, there's only one road that really goes all the way up. And it was a Wednesday, so there was no cars on the road. And we're driving down this road. It's one road, nothing but desert on both sides. And all of a sudden, as we passing, we see this ring of lights, like the gravitron. Like that's the only thing I can think about is it looked just like the gravitron, like and that was it off to the side. And I looked at the homie. The homie looked at me. He's like, "Yo, did you see that?" I was like, "Hell yeah, I saw that." He was like, "Hey, mind you, he's a white boy, so he's like, hey man, you think we should turn around and check it out?" I was like, nigga, if you stop that, I'm beating you, bro. I'm a whoop you, bro. We ain't stopping, bro. There was no cars in front, no cars behind. I ain't about to get abducted, homie. Like, you being too curious.
Get that abduction, man. Get that abduction.
I ain't trying to do that, bro.
You came back with superpowers. You left out, and you could have been flying after that. All right. Let's get back to it. Tim, did you answer that question?
One more thing.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. I think we all have seen aliens. We all have because even the Bible says you may have entertained angels and know not.
I think Collins is an alien. Because if y'all done knew him back in college, knew Collins back in college, okay. Yeah, real talk. I'm muting his ass right now. Let's go.
Documentation that's what's occurring.
Only a theoretical framework discussion. Yes.
Okay. Occam's razor is that these aircraft have they been identified that they are being produced by domestic military and contractors? Is there any evidence that that's what's being recovered?
Not to my knowledge. Plus, the recoveries predate a lot of our advanced programs that I previously am witting of. So,
would it be safe to say that there could be a scenario today where you have an aircraft that crashes, and because it's been involved in one program from one federal agency, and the agency that retrieves it is not aware of that program, and to them it appears alien in origin?
I mean, that's a hypothetical situation. I'm not aware of any historical situation that would match that you described. So
you're not aware? It has not happened that you're aware of?
That I'm aware of.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Several months ago, my office received a protected disclosure from Eglin Air Force Base indicating that there was a UAP incident that required my attention. I sought a briefing regarding that episode and brought with me Congressman Burchett and Congresswoman Luna. We asked to see any of the evidence that had been taken by flight crew in this endeavor and to observe any radar signature as well as to meet with the flight crew. We were not afforded access to all of the flight crew. And initially, we were not afforded access to images and to radar. Thereafter, we had a bit of a discussion about how authorities flow in the United States of America, and we did see the image. And we did meet with one member of the flight crew who took the image. The image was of something that I am not able to attach to any human capability, either from the United States or from any of our adversaries. And I'm somewhat informed on the matter, having served on the Armed Services Committee for 7 years, having served on the committee that oversees DARPA and advanced technologies for several years. When we spoke with the flight crew, and when he showed us the photo that he'd taken, I asked why the video wasn't engaged, why we didn't have a FLIR system that worked. Here's what he said. They were out on a test mission that day over the Gulf of Mexico. And when you're on a test mission, you're supposed to have clear airspace. Not supposed to be anything that shows up. And they saw a sequence of 4 craft in a clear diamond formation for which there is a radar sequence that I alone have observed in the United States Congress. One of the pilots goes to check out that diamond formation and sees a large floating, what I can only describe as an orb. Again, like I said, not of any human capability that I'm aware of. And when he approached, he said that his radar went down. He said that his FLIR system malfunctioned and that he had to manually take this image from one of the lenses, and it was not automated in collection as you would typically see in a test mission. So I guess I'll start with Commander Fravor. How should we think about the fact that this craft that was approached by our pilot had the capability of disarming a number of the sensor and collection systems on that craft?
Well, I think this goes to that national security side. You can go back through history of things showing up in certain areas and disabling our capabilities, which is disheartening. And for us, I mean, like I said, it completely disabled the radar and the aircraft when it tried to do it. And the only way we could see it is passively, which is how he got that image. So I think that's a concern on what are these doing, not only how do they operate, but their capabilities inside to do things like this.
And how should we think about 4 craft moving in a very clear formation, equidistant from one another, in a diamond, in all of the phenomenon, perhaps, Mr. Grave, that you've analyzed? Have we ever seen multiple craft in a single formation?
I have one particular case, and that was during the gimbal incident. The recording on the AT FLIR system shows a single object that rotates. You hear the pilots refer to a fleet of objects that is not visible on the FLIR system. And that was something that I witnessed during the debrief as part of the radar data on the situational awareness page. I would like to add, however, Congressman, there's a small bit of anger, I would say. I would feel that those pilots are still facing that difficulty in reporting this topic, and they don't have the tools to be able to mitigate this issue. It just goes to show how serious this is and why this is such an important issue for our pilots and for our nation.
It was stated explicitly to me by these test pilots that if you have a UAP experience, the best thing you can do for your career is forget it and not tell anyone. Because any type of reporting, either above the surface or below the surface, does have a perceived consequence to these people, and that is a culture we must change if we want to get to the truth. Mr. Chairman, I would observe that perhaps as we move forward from this hearing, there are some obvious next steps. Every person watching this knows that we need to meet with Mr. Grush in a secure, compartmentalized facility so that we can get fulsome answers that do not put him in jeopardy and that give us the information we need. Second, I would suggest that the radar images that were collected of this formation of craft.
I'm gonna stop real quick. I'm gonna ask y'all a question. Do you think that, what would you do if you're a government in the government and you know these things exist? Do you feel obligated, or would you want to tell the American people?